Orient fielded the side that drew last week with Luton in the Texaco Cup, where Tom Whalley 6 and Jerry Queen 10 were the scorers. Now Manchester United, also unchanged from their last pre-season match, a 1-1 draw at Hull, a United side with 3 Scottish World Cup players in it, 5 Jim Holton, 6 Martin Buchan, and the number 7, of course, their skipper, Willie Morgan. And at 9, their £200,000 signing from Hull, Stuart Pearson. The referee today is John Yates from Redditch, and now the crowd waits in the sunshine for a start to the new season.
So the new season is underway as Manchester United set about getting their bearings in the second division, attacking the goal to our left here at the Orient. Manchester United all in white, Orient in the cherry red shirts that Manchester United usually wear, white shorts and black stockings. So the surroundings might be different for Manchester United, but their support is as fantastic as ever. I gather there were even people waiting outside this Orient ground last night when Orient manager George Petchey was making his way home, intending to sleep out in East London to be sure of seeing their favourites again in action here this afternoon. Manchester United, who won only 3 games away from home in the First Division last season, against Orient, who missed promotion to the First Division by a single point. Everything hinging on their last game of the season. Here's Bill Roffey, the number 3, with the throw for Orient. Bullock coming off him well. And Posse finding Mickey Bullock again. Now it's with Tom Whalley, who scored a stupendous goal last week against Luton. Finding Posse, turned inside, and an overhead kick there by Bullock. Straight to the arms of Alex Stepney, the only Londoner in this Manchester United side. Forsyth. Macari. So it's a free kick then to Man United. Forsyth again taking it. McCalliog's the man he's aiming for, and McCalliog in fact got the header in. That's 2 or 3 times in this game that long crosses, particularly from the right, have caught Orient a little bit lacking in height in the defence, and being won either by Holton, on that occasion by the number 10 Jim McCalliog. That time Holton didn't quite get to it in the air, but there's Daly back in support, this young Irishman. Stuart Pearson going off, being hounded though by Harris. Pearson shows a fair bit of pace and a lot of determination by the way he went in there on Hoadley. I'm not at all sure that it was an entirely fair challenge. Bullock. Good play by Buchan. Calliog to Greenough. Macari for Greenough again, and Hoadley is in a bit of trouble. Good ball there to Buchan, and cross deep for Willie Morgan in a lot of space on that far side, across the Orient goal. Good sweeping attack there by Manchester United, helped, I think, by the fact that Phil Hoadley was injured. But Morgan not far wide with that final shot of his. Willie Morgan, who had a lot of trouble with an eye after an accident while he was playing tennis in the summer, was telling me just before the game that he's still got to go back to hospital for them to have another look at it. Played in there towards Posse, and it'll fall for Fairbrother instead. Here's Heppelet now, with time maybe to get a cross in. Taking on Houston. Finding it stopped by McCalliog, but Fisher by now coming to support him. So Heppelet might get another cross in. That time it was blocked by Daly. And here's Houston. Buchan calling hard for it. Taking the responsibility there well. Hoadley, that'll fall for Brian Greenough. And look at Morgan in so much space now. Willie Morgan for Manchester United. And that's a beautiful goal. That is a beautiful goal. Scored by Willie Morgan. Made for him, without doubt, by Brian Greenough in another beautiful sweeping Manchester United move. Greenough away to Morgan in so much space. Morgan took his time, and his aim was perfect. And the Orient fans are silent Manchester United fans are jubilant as Manchester United score their first goal in the second division. Well, that's about the first mistake that Willie Morgan's made this afternoon, and he's still got a fair bit on the credit side after that fine goal. Roffey keeping it in, but only for Brian Greenough. Willie Morgan. Past Roffey. Morgan just sizing up the situation in the middle, but then beaten away unfairly by Jerry Queen. So it's a free kick to Manchester United, which Greenough will take. Jim Holton's come up for this one. In fact, they've got everybody up. And there's Pearson's header. And Jackson was in a lot of trouble getting that one away. That was a good save in the end by Jackson from Stuart Pearson's header. Fairbrother going in. Bullock stretching out, and Wally collecting now, brought down by Daly. And a free kick to Orient. Certainly wasn't an intentional trip there by Daly, and John Yates using his discretion there on Tom Wally. But it had to be a free kick. Now, can Orient pull something out in the last seconds of this first half? Bullock is there with a glancing header, but it's a goal kick. And there, in fact, is the half-time whistle, and a very satisfactory first half indeed for Manchester United, back in the second division. Going into half-time with the lead in their favour, the goal being scored by Willie Morgan, and a superb goal it was as well. Manchester United looking the better side throughout this first half, Orient looking a little overawed. But the half-time score here then at Brisbane Road Orient is Orient 0, Manchester United 1. So welcome back then as we start the second half, with Orient now attacking the goal to our left, a goal down to Manchester United and to Willie Morgan. Tom Wally to Heffelet. Clearly the thing that must be uppermost in Manchester United minds is that they want to string one or two good results together early on in the season to put behind them all the unhappy memories of last season and to build to something really much more positive this season. Return to the first division. Well, if they get a good result here, remembering they only had 3 away wins all last season, against a side that did so well in the second division last season, they'll know they're on the right tracks. Well, I'm sure Orient have still got a lot left in them, and here's Ricky Heffelet. Now, can Fairbrother get this one over? Well, it was a poor cross, and McCalliog had the simplest of jobs, getting it behind for the corner. Very Fairbrother, tenacious little worker. But really wasn't a very good cross there. Here's Posse now with the corner. They've certainly planted enough red shirts forward this time. Wally is one of them, but it goes completely in the wrong direction off his head for a goal kick to Manchester United. Pearson and Roffey, and a throw to Manchester United. Morgan to Pearson. Played on nicely by Pearson there for Daly. Corner to United. Which Willie Morgan will take. Daly for Morgan. Nice little change of pace there by Morgan. And a foul there by Queen on Morgan, I think that's going to be. Yes, it's a free kick, it's not a corner. So a chance for Brian Greenough, or maybe Alex Forsyth, to chip a dangerous little ball into that Orient penalty area. In fact, they've driven it instead, and Pearson very nearly got on the end of it just to toe poke it in. That sort of free kick are devastating for defences. They need just the mildest deflection to poke them in, and Pearson very nearly provided that one with it. And here's Bullock. Played on for Heffelet again. He's got a good cross in there, and Stepney with Posse challenging, and the ball is still bubbling about there, and it's still play on, says the referee, and finally off Bullock, and it's still not away, and then Houston heads it away for Willie Morgan. The referee believing that that challenge by Posse on the goalkeeper was fair, and Queen challenging Morgan a little crudely. And Manchester United now get a free kick. Harris towards Posse, and Forsyth, I think, caught Posse on the back of the head as well. Now it's Bullock. Played in again for Bill Roffey. Touched on for Harris. Here's Roffey again. Queen. Wally riding through that challenge by Greenoff and getting his cross in. A good one! Posse! Well, what an incredible mix-up there. Posse almost got there with his header. And then in the end, when it was still bubbling about there and he was falling, he very nearly hooked it in. So Manchester United have had two little escapes there in skirmishings in their 6-yard area, but still lead by a goal to nil. A lovely cross there. And Posse very nearly making something of it. In fact, there was an infringement. Heppelet's header. Bullock off, and Orient now looking a better side as Fairbrother goes through. And Fairbrother just wide. Much more like it from Orient. You would hardly have recognised them for so long in that first half from the side that did so much last season. But in the last couple of minutes, they've begun to look the part again. Fairbrother so close there. Holton to Greenoff. Played dangerously there, and it still could be dangerous, but it won't quite reach Wally, and Greenoff recovered quickly enough. Wally now to Roffey. Played inside again for Jerry Queen. Back again for Wally, and now again for Roffey, and a little bit of space to get this cross in. If he can get round Forsyth, which he can. Oh, good bit of play there by Orient, and United were in trouble. Nice build-up down the left there involving Wally and Roffey. A lovely cross by Roffey that had Alex Stepney and the United defence in all sorts of trouble. So a corner on the far side then to Orient. Posse will take it. Harris was right in there. Will it come for Heppelet? Diving in there with a header. Houston got it away. Posse in there with the header. Wally will be able to play it wide here for Bill Roffey. Onto that left foot again by Roffey. Well, the height and the power were right, the direction was wrong. Fisher back for Jackson. Now Harris taking that from Hoadley. Wally, little flick forward. They are looking so much better in this second half, Orient. But Buchan will get that one away. But it's Orient now who are beginning to pounce on things that are loose in the middle of the field, although that was McCalliog there for Manchester United. And away goes Stuart Pearson. But Orient have got 4 men back, so Pearson still has a lot to do. But he's still going on, Pearson. There's the cross by him. That almost could have been a goal. Roffey, in fact, just got a foot to it. As good play there by Pearson. Beautiful play by him. Went on and on. And Roffey just got the foot to it as Morgan came in. Pearson, again a tricky bounce that beat Harris that time. Here's McElroy now. And Harris belting it away to Posse. So Forsyth will take it up. But Roffey to contend with. Free kick. Roffey tripping Forsyth. Chance for Manchester United to take the pressure off their end of the field. And they've left only Martin Buchan back. Buchan and Posse are the only men, other than Alex Stepney, who have stayed back. So that really is a crowded Orient penalty area. As Forsyth chips it into the far side towards Houston. Oh, and what a header! And it's there by Houston! 2-0. Well, they put so many men forward, Manchester United. And as Forsyth's free kick came over, Houston got above them all, in off the post, and that's 2-0. So Stuart Houston, who scored only 2 goals in the league last season for Manchester United after joining them from Brentford, has already got 1 this season. And I would think, unless there is a remarkable Orient revival now, that would just about make it safe now for Manchester United, although here's Fairbrother. McElroy back with just over a quarter of an hour to go. Pearson hard after this one, and finally Harris rather can turn it back to Jackson. And I think the linesman on the far side is in some trouble. He was injured just now. Now whether he can go on or not, I think the game is being stopped, and I think we might well find that either the linesman is going to get a bit of treatment, Tommy Kavanagh's running that way, or there might be an appeal for a qualified referee to take over the line for the last few minutes of the game. So the linesman in trouble. Mr. Gregory of Woking. So Mr. Gregory of Woking, the linesman on the far side. Brian Winston, the Orient chairman, has also got down there to see what they can do. And already there is a gentleman stripping off saying that I'm a qualified referee and I am happy to run the line for the last, 4 minutes of the game. So Manchester United have got a substitute on, Sammy McElroy. It looks as though we're going to get a substitute linesman as well. He's also going to have Tommy Kavanagh's tracksuit top. Well, that's something to tell the fellas this weekend. The day I was on the line, when Manchester United were on the field against Orient. And there is the cordon of police. It'll be a throw, and it's given to Orient. Our substitute linesman making his first decision there. Quite a good long one as well there. Now Bullock, can he do anything? It's a corner. So Posse now will take it, but as we are well into injury time, there really doesn't seem to be time enough for Orient to get anything very profitable out of this game. Bullock couldn't get to that header, and it's Holton leading them away. Towards Pearson, that's 1 against 1 now, and as he got the beating of Harris, still with Pearson, Roffey coming back to support his defence. It'll be with Daly now. Back again for Willie Morgan, aware that Queen is hard behind him. And Wally can get this one away for Orient. Good header there by Houston to McCalliog. Again, the referee looking at his watch. We're well into injury time as it's crossed in once more towards Pearson. Harris getting that one away. Here's Posse. And there goes the final whistle. Impressive Manchester United, well deserving their 2-0 victory. A good start for them in the second division. A victory with goals by Willie Morgan in the first half, and then one by Stuart Houston in the second half. There's Houston number 3, whose header really wrapped up this game for United. And well, they deserved it. As the young fans come on, I think we should be seeing a lot of Manchester United on the evidence of this game towards the top of the second division this season. So we have then a final scoreline here on the first league game of the season. Orient 0, Manchester United